in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to do a foot jam. So with a foot jam, you can do them on a quarter pipe, you can learn them on a flat bank. I find them easiest on a quarter pipe, so we'll be doing a step-by-step of how to do a foot jam. We're going to learn them first on the floor, then we're going to be doing them on a bank, where you go up, put your foot in your front wheel, turn around and go straight back in. And then finally, we're going to be learning them on a quarter pipe. For those of you that watched the tire tap video, a foot jam is very similar to a tire tap. So with the tire tap, you're going to have your weight back and then you're going to be leaning in. With the foot jam, it's exactly the same thing, but this time you're going to be leaning over the front wheel and then same leaning in. But now you're going to have one foot off, you're going to have one foot in the front wheel, and that pressure is going to go all the way through your leg into your foot, and then you're going to jam it into the tire, and that weight is going to be pushed all the way over the front. I'd recommend a nice 4-foot mini ramp or spine mini. The one I've got right next to me is perfect for learning how to foot jam. So let's start by doing them on the floor. When you do them on the floor, I literally just want you to roll along at a nice slow speed, and whatever foot you feel comfortable taking off. For me, it's my forward foot, which would be my right foot. I'm going to take that right foot off and I'm going to put it into my front wheel. This is going to stop you really fast. Once you're used to taking your foot off and putting it in the front wheel a couple of times, now I want you to go a tiny bit faster and now put some of your weight over the front. That's going to get your back wheel up off the floor. Now your back wheel's off the floor, you can then try and balance on that front wheel. You can hop around if you like, but it's all about learning to control where the weight is. Once you're comfortable doing it on the flat ground, you're going to find yourself a nice flat bank. As we go up the bank, we're going to put our foot in our front wheel and we're going to lean over the front, but this time we're going to turn a little bit. So I'm going to spin left, so I want to turn, I want to flick my back end out right, and I'm going to turn down with my left shoulder. That's going to spin me around, and then I'm just going to drop the back wheel and put my foot back on the pedal. You can practice and get comfortable with this lots and lots of times. And once you've done that one, it's time to do it on a quarter pipe. It's a little bit trickier on a quarter pipe because you have to lean in quite a bit to get that back wheel back in. You also have to hop off the front wheel back in, and that requires a little bit of strength, but it's mainly body weight positioning. So now we're doing it on a ramp. Find yourself that nice quarter pipe, preferably not too steep and no bigger than 4 or 5 foot, I'd say. So first of all, we're going to jump out the quarter and just try and get our foot in our front wheel. Once you've got that spot, then it's time to lean forward. So we're going to jump out again, and we're going to put our foot in our front wheel, and we're going to get in to this position. For the first couple, we're not going to worry about being too close to the coping just yet. I just want you to be comfortable on that front wheel. Once we're able to control it a little bit, then we want to be closer to the coping, because the closer we are, the easier it's going to be to get back in. So now we can get into the foot jam, and we're fairly close to the coping. Now we want to start leaning in. That's the only way we're going to get back into the ramp. So for me, I'm going to be leaning with my left shoulder into the ramp like this. And that is just going to make me fall back in onto the bike. Remember, when we're going to go back in, we've got to hop with our front wheel. So we've got to get all our weight in the air, put our foot back on, and then land. If you find yourself going too far away from the coping, it's probably because you're just going too fast. That means you have too much speed and then you're jumping out and you're way too far away from the coping. So slow it down on the way in, and as you come out, try and get as close to that coping as you can. Once you're there, your foot's in your front wheel, you're leaning over the handlebars, so your weight is leant forward, then you've got to lean in. Lean that left shoulder in, and you'll just start to gradually fall back in. If you find yourself constantly casing the back wheel on the way in, it's just because you haven't leant in enough. So the little cheat code is, instead of coming out and spinning 90 degrees like this, and then having to hop in and case, I want you to come out, but only spin to here. Look where my back wheel is. My back wheel is actually still in the ramp. So all you have to do at that point is lean in a little bit and hop, and then you're going to be straight in the ramp. Sometimes if you're here, and your foot's in your front wheel like this, and your back wheel's out here, my back wheel is so far away from the coping right now, even if I hop, I'm probably going to land there. So a little cheat code, don't turn quite as much into the foot jam, but you almost have to do a little bit bigger hop out of it because you've got to spin a little bit more. That's the only thing. Right guys, that's how to foot jam. Let me know if you have any problems, send in videos, and I'll see you next time.